Hello, my name is Hector Velasquez and welcome to GCS AA Inside the Shop. Now, you've had that piece of equipment that doesn't start. You come to realize you need to upgrade your battery terminals. Now, in this episode, we're going to show you what terminal you may want to use over the other. We're going to show you a couple of methods that are used and hopefully get you back on the road. So let's get started. All right, so let's talk about the eyelet connector first. These are pretty common among your electric vehicles. You're going to need a hammer, a crimping tool, some solder, your terminal, and some shrink tubing. All right, now we're going to let the terminal dictate how much insulation we need to remove from the battery cable. Mark it with the pen. This should be good. Let's take that off. And works great. All right, so now let's go ahead and cut ourselves some shrink tubing. This will be too much. Let's get rid of that. All right, slide that on first. We're gonna put our terminal inside the crimping tool, just like this. And then you slide your battery cable onto the terminal. One quick whack. Might take you two, but you should have something that looks like this. And this looks great. Now with our shrink tubing that has sealing properties as well, and that's gonna protect that terminal for a really good time. Look at that, looks good. All right, next one. If you don't have the crimping tool, don't despair. Just grab some solder with a torch, melt some into the terminal, grab your battery cable, slide it in the terminal, hold it until it cools off. And you should have something that looks like this. Throw some shrink tubing onto that and you'll be good to go. All right, now let's do the solder type connectors. These are my favorite and my go-to connectors. Now I got this terminal here to replace. It's stuck right now. Now I'm a little tempted to use a screwdriver, but that could damage the battery. So you have these terminal pullers that you can pick up from your local auto store. Should look like this. Real easy to use. You can throw that over the terminal, crank down on that center shaft, and it pops that terminal right out and no damage to the battery or the post. All right, let's get this replaced. Now, we've all seen that universal battery terminal. Guys, use this in like an absolute emergency. A permanent repair, use a soldered type terminal. Real easy to use. Once again, we're gonna mark out how much insulation to remove. This should be good enough. All right, let's get rid of that real quick. Sweet. All right, this is good to go. Now I'm gonna grab my terminal, put it in the clamp. Now they got these things called a solder slug. Real easy. If you don't have any, you can use regular solder as well. Heat up your terminal with a torch, get your battery cable ready. It's gonna take some time for that slug to warm up. All right, that should be good. Once that's good and melted, put your battery cable in, hold it, let it cool off. And you should have something that looks like this. Throw some shrink tubing onto that and you'll be good to go. Now before we put this new terminal onto the battery, I'm gonna grab my post cleaner. This is a really nice tool, once again available at your auto store. You can clean your own terminal if you want to, reuse it. And this part will clean my post. Just put it on, give it a few turns, and here you have a nice clean post for our new terminal. Well, as you can see, taking an extra 20 to 30 minutes to properly maintain your battery and its terminals will save you hours in electrical troubleshooting. I want to thank you for joining me here today on GCS AA Inside the Shop, where we're helping technicians one wrench at a time. I got an idea.